How's it going, guys? Rebel by choice, evening. So I'm a few minutes late. I was just trying to find where all my modded vehicles are all scattered across the maps. Larry Clegg's president. How's it going, dude? Ozzy, what kept you? Yeah, I'd lost my my Derry Longhorn. Couldn't figure out. I took it to Zimnegorsk, of all places. So yeah, finally found the little beast. Just having a little what to do. Kenneth Rust, Wolfmeister. How's it going, dude? Epic Boss, hello. Heisenberg Blue, just got on the SnowRunner myself. Outstanding. Sounds like good stuff. Well, I'm going to do mods on this one. I'm not really too sure what I'm going to do, but I've got Erskine River uncovered. I've got, I believe, Northern Aegis done, but I could kind of do with doing that warehouse trouble and then the Cosmodrome thing, and then I can get on to Cosmodrome and Chimcharuski and all sorts. Is that Ives? Brulot? Ives Brulot? Ivers, is that right? My gaming is random. Hi, how's it going, dude? Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. In fact, so a heap of work. Yeah, we're going to need that one, but I'm going to have to get that trailer. I already know the way. I have to tow a loaf behind me. Be rude not to, really. And we'll get going. Juice Cane, hello Mr. Lone Wolf. We got a thing they call Radar Loaf, exactly. Can't leave without your Radar Loaf. It was a good old song like that. I nearly put it in the video. I was extremely tempted. Looks like I've got plenty of loafs to choose from. Nice little... Oh, what? The engine's locked. Oh, well. Not happy about that, but we can soon solve that. Pig Dog Loaf shenanigans. There's always Loaf shenanigans. Gets up to all sorts, he does. I still prefer the muds. Yeah, you can pronounce like Eve. It's same as French. Ah, cool. Cheers, man. Cheers for letting us know. What do we want? Advanced. Don't need a spare. It's weird with the loaf. It still does it. The spare wheel stops you being able to connect a trailer, which is pretty stupid because clearly that wouldn't be a thing in real life. I don't really know why it is on this. Don't need any of that. What colour though? That's the question. So a yellow loaf. Make sure everyone can see them. Look to see mod Tatrin versus the monster map. I believe I just turned the Tatrin mod on. I wanted to do stuff like the bring the Kenny mods, but they just take so much memory up. But later on, I could always quit out of this playthrough and load up my 4th playthrough, but I've got practically nothing unlocked on that map, but I've got hardly any mods either, so I'll be able to turn Kenny on. In fact, I think Kenny is already on that one. That's like the only one. Let's go low. In fact, yeah, we're best off probably turning around. This is the old Fox's mod Derry. It's a beast. It's about time this mod, well the Derry I mean, was usable and enjoyable. I've seen something about a new loaf. What do you think would be a good channel name for me? I honestly have no idea, dude. There's no point in me even trying to make a guess. I mean, generally speaking, try and think of something relatively unique. Like, for example, I was going to go for Lone Wolf Gaming, but there's loads of channels called Lone Wolf Gaming, so I just would have been in a sea of the same names. I believe I'm the only one who's called ItsMrLoneWolf, so it's probably, yeah, something unique, but they're not so unique it's like rare and never said or anything like that. I appreciate it. It's Mr. Lone Wolf isn't exactly a common phrase, but yeah. Thank you for the information. No worries, dude. Beast. This ice is being brutal. Even got me loaf then. Normally he's alright on this ice. Jumping around there at the back, he's loving it. Fox's Derry is unstoppable. It's definitely a beast. It's nice to finally have a very good Derry. The, what's it called? The truck max pack thing. That actually made a fairly decent Derry, but I'd say this one is more refined and yeah, sort of polished. It's, yeah, definitely very good. I was flying around in it the other day, having a good old time. That's why I ended up in Zyndagost, like I said. You know I was having a good time when I ended up in a map like that. Just throw your loaf at the ice, exactly. He's headbutting it all. He's like my little ice plough at the minute. It looks like he's taking a beating, but it's an optical illusion. He's actually beating the ice up. Oh, it's a modded one, it certainly is. Still got a very good horn. Derry always has had a good horn. Shame about the rest of it, really. Love watching a Loaf at play. He's in his natural habitat. Still hate that diff thing. The OP concrete slabs will probably delete me. No. Got away lightly that time. That's how you find your way back. Just follow the trail of Loaf parts. Exactly. Leaving breadcrumbs. Or breadcrumb trail. Right, you know they've overdone it on the snow when even a modded bloody Derry has to go this slow. And I've only gone round here because those concrete slabs will probably make my truck explode. I mean, do they actually know the difference between, like, snow and Gorilla Glue? Because I'm not sure they do. Like, low range, diffs on. And as near as it makes no difference, screwed. I think your conspiracy is correct about the devs hating on the Oshkosh for not letting them use the name. Yeah, something like that. I've still got my gut feeling that something like that happened. Because I don't know. Yeah, if I was in charge of this game, this being the most expensive truck, you would think to just make it pretty decent. And if they wanted to make it crap, they could have made it like a cheaper truck that's sort of middle of the range kind of thing. But they didn't. They kept it as the most expensive, but just made it crap. That snow is horrifically bad. Well, next time I'll chance me luck on the death slabs. Fucking bits. I'm gonna make it down here. I'm gonna make it back up there in a minute. Interesting. Do it. Did it. Oh, in fact, oh, it has got the autonomous winches. That's quite nice. There's nothing over there though. Can it not reach that lamppost? Oh, it can. Gotta go. Everything except the Loaf. Again, one day, well, I won't hold my breath. I was going to say they might code priority into it, but I doubt it. Oshkosh clothing retailer? I didn't even know that. Is that like the same company, or is that just happen to have the same name? I'd assume a different company, but every now and then you always hear something random like Heinz baked beans just make radiators or something random. Like completely not what they're normally specialise in. Come on, rally load. Where are we heading anyway? That's what we want. Dragon123, hello, how's it going, dude? He's not happy. Gets violent. Oh no, this shitty snow again. Again, I'm only doing this mission so we can actually unlock some of the other maps. I'll probably mess around on Cosmodrome and Chimcharuski because, well, yeah, look. Erska River is just piss take. It's a shame as well, because it's actually quite a nice map, except they've gone well over the top with this stuff, super duper snow. I mean, if you don't want me to go this way, just put some rocks in the way. Trying to cook my chicken, looks done, look close to burning. I just cooked some chicken thing, it was bloody horrible. I ended up eating the bread. That was it. I have no regrets. Crazy Loaf, he did go crazy then. I assume it was something to do, like, maybe the winch point was hoovered in too much, so they were trying to kind of merge. My Loaf was trying to enter the derry. Did Sabre buff the stock derry or the off-road gearbox? I used it earlier towing a P12 behind me with 2 long logs, and it did pretty decent. It's weird, like, the derry's got a bit of a split personality. Every now and then, it's actually not that bad, and I say that, like, yeah, relatively speaking, but I've had a few times where I've drove it and it's like, oh, that's not too bad, and then the next day I could get in it and it's just horrific, even in the same road and everything. Like, I just don't know. Well done, devs. This is some mighty fine, dynamic, fun, amusing gameplay, this is. Erskine Revel's the worst map in the region. Yeah, that Northern Aegis thing is pretty bad, but at least with that I kind of appreciate it's some kind of missile defence place in the arse end of nowhere and is kind of supposed to be practically inhabitable. This is just pure, let's make a map and then let's shit all over it with stupid game mechanics that are just not real. Again, like, it's snow, not fly trap glue. Is that Chris High Tech? Hope I said that right. How's it going, Miss Lone Wolf? Back at it again, I'd say. Certainly are. Yeah, quite looking forward to doing this stream with the old mods. Oh my god. Loaf. In fact, well, we could try Loaf Rescue. Well, in fact, we'll see. As if I've not killed him by now. Yep, it's looking pretty dead. In fact, I'm not gonna, just because I want to save his roof rack. And this thing has got an autonomous winch. I could just stick the Loaf behind this post I'm about to winch to. So I wouldn't even say it'd be a difficult rescue, but yeah. I'd rather save his spares and repairs. At least now, see, he's clever. He's thought ahead. You can't kill him if he's already dead. And he knows that. I mean, look at him. Jumps back to his wheels because he knows there's still work to be done. Christ, man, this super death snow is insane. We're getting off this map ASAP. And again, I drove this round the other day, so it's not like the derry's crap or anything. It was motoring along loads of terrain. Like I uncovered all the watchtowers on this map in about 10 minutes or something. I just literally blew at every one of them and it's fine. I heard there was going to be a highway map in Season 2. Yeah, that'd be good. It'd be nice if they actually mixed it up a little bit instead of just keep progressively making everything slower and more boring, to be honest. Like, at this point, I'd quite happily take a map that's just an entirely flat paved slab, so I can actually just enjoy driving the truck for once, instead of internally crying at how broken some of their idea of terrain is. Lone Wolf, oh sorry man, it just disappeared. I've seen Lone Wolf, do you agree? I swear the snow gets worse every day, yeah, same here. Like I said, I was on this map with this vehicle the other day and it was not that bad. kind of off-topic question, but any opinions about NFS? What, Need for Speed? I have no idea, I've not played that for ages. I assume that's what you mean. The only thing I can think of with NFS. Love to watch Monster P12 and P16 make these maps a bitch. Yeah, true, something needs to. It'd be nicer if the devs just made the map not a bitch. Not a son of a bitch. And then we could, yeah, have a nice old time. The swamp is one of the worst places on the map. Must be why they put a trailer there. Yeah, that sounds about right. I think there is a certain sadistic side to these devs. Still waiting for the Burley T100. Yeah, same here. I keep hearing loads about it. People have been mentioning it and asking about it for months, but yeah, we ain't got no sight of it on console, so I have no idea what it's like. Oh my god. Could you imagine an actual Derry now? Like, how hopeless that feeling would be. Electric truck pack is great, but because it's electric, the trucks sound absolutely shit. I agree, but then to be fair, they don't add enough noise. In fact, soon, I'll make a video of just some random truck driving, and then I will... Again, it's going to be janky, because I kind of have to do it off my phone and just record it that way, but I'll put some real, actual engine noises in over it. See how much it improves the experience. Oh yeah, I can actually go up here because I've got chained, that's nice. Just turned... Oh, just tuned in, sorry. Wayne Brown, good evening Mr. Lone Wolf. How's it going, dude? Have you joining us? Nicholas Roche, what are some of your favourite moments in playing SnowRunner? Pretty much anything with a Loaf. Loaf shenanigans is a good old time. I like jumping him off cliffs. I like rescuing trucks with him. I like generally roaming around the map, having a good old time. And I'm not even making it up. Like I am, when I'm not making video, I'm just out in my Loaf. I even crossed the river on Cosmodrome the other day with a Loaf on his own. He made it. I knew he could. I believed in him. Yeah, I mean that's generally speaking, like all kinds of things, but there's 99.9% chance there was a Loaf involved somewhere. Get a snowmobile. Yeah, true. There's a few things they really could add. Like I say, a shirt thing seems like the most obvious thing. I can't believe that they haven't added it. Most cars now pump engine sounds into the cabin. Yeah, true. That's one thing I did like about my M5 was that was like the last of the... It was a naturally aspirated V10, so it didn't have turbos or anything kind of stealing some of the exhaust to spool up the turbos and that. It was just, yeah, a naturally aspirated V10. There was no in-cabin sound, none of that crap. It sounded like an absolute crackpot. And the sound was one of the more enjoyable things to it. It's sad in a way how they have to pump noise in there. And a lot of cars these days have got like soft limiters and like, yeah, like particulate filters, all that sort of stuff, so they don't sound anywhere near as good. Listening to a Mazda, what's it, 787 thing nail down the straight at Le Mans. Oh damn, that thing sounds good. Right, can we get up here? Gonna have to disconnect the Loaf for a minute. Could we just be cheeky and try and go straight to that post? Gonna try it. It'd help if the front went around a little more, but I don't think it's going. Nope. Have to do it to the tree first. I didn't even want that one, I wanted the winch point next to it. I could just see the last bit, Paystar and 114 SD. Paystar's not bad. 114 SD. 114 SD is one of them, like, it's not great, but it's not particularly terrible at anything either. It's just one of those sort of quiet trucks in the background that can get its stuff done without too much fuss. It's a bit expensive for what it is though, the 114 SD. Money wise, you're probably a lot better off with the Paystar. Sarah Smith, it's Mr. Lone Wolf. It certainly is. I'm not sure if this is like the way they intended you to go, but without any of the bridges built, it's kind of the only option. Where have you started my launch point this time? I can see him. Jackpot. Still not caught on that tree loaf. Not looking good, but could just floor it. Ever put a loaf on the front of a split deck semi-trailer and gone off-roading? Yeah, my loaf's always on there. Yeah, them little step. I like them step deck trailer things. That little platform at the front is, well, as far as I'm concerned, it's like a loaf seat. Can't possibly think what else it'd be used for. Yeah, I do. Well, anyway, I mean, you've seen any of my videos. If there's room for a loaf, I'll squeeze them in. It's cheaper. Right, now we need to do a heap of work. It was on one of these, probably this one. So we've got the beams. I think there is planks here as well, isn't there? Yeah, there was. So that's going to need, what, 4 slots? 8, 12. Okay, I'm going to go back to the garage. Lone Wolf, do you think it's worth buying the GMC Brigadier? I mean, it's not... It doesn't do anything that plenty of other trucks do, so... Sort of no, but I don't know, if you play the game loads and you kind of... I don't know, you like to mix the trucks up. I mean, it's not a terrible truck. It's, to be honest though, it's not that well suited to these kind of maps, so if you've already completed all the other maps, probably not. But it's one of them, it's hard to sort of say. Depends what 3 odd quid, like, is it going to bother you? But just bear in mind that if you did get it, it's not amazing, so... Yeah. Get a pair of these. Oh, I've got another iceberg in here somewhere. Do you buy cheese perished or just normal cheese and shred it yourself? Oh, pre-shred. He said perished. I thought it was going to be a joke, since cheese is kind of like mouldy milk. I don't know. I just buy a block of cheese. What would you rank it? I don't know. To be honest, it's not that different from like the GMC 9500. So, and that's a highway truck and it's a lot cheaper and all the rest of it. Oh, hang on, I've got a crane on this. I should have bought. Remove it. Damn. entire base in the garage. Plenty of loafs. You never know. Well, I think I've got about 40 loafs, so should get me by in a pinch. Probably do a few more though. It's about that time. See what I mean though? The menu speeds up when you scroll through loafs. Just, it's goddamn professional in every single thing it does. It's time for a loaf hat. Need them repairs. Thanks for the feedback, man. No worries, dude. I mean, yeah, I don't want to definitely say yes, because there's a fair chance you could buy it and be like, oh, that's crap. Why did he tell me to buy that? But I don't want to outright say no, because, yeah, it's one of them. It's how much you play the game, like. But just know that, I mean, there's plenty of free mods that would absolutely blow it out the water. We already own plenty of free trucks that would eat it for breakfast, so, yeah. You're not gaining any advantage by owning it, just, I suppose, a little bit more variety. Let's see, why is he on the little tyres? What's he up to? The Super Dolphin will drain a semi-fuel trailer in one go. Sounds more like it. In my experience, things that drink fuel quicker usually better. Not Jacobs, what's happening right now? I'm going to go and do this heap of work mission quickly so I can unlock Cosmodrome, and then I'm just going to generally fly around Cosmodrome, have a look what to do, possibly even go for a trip on Chimcharuski or whatever it's called. What was it again? Chernokoments. Try remembering it again, like the beginning of Chernobyl, and then commence, and then a K at the end, just because they could. Get on there, Loaf. And then they freeze mid-air. It's weird, the crane thing on this. It's not acceptable. I'll just smack Bruce out of the way. Not really. Why does it always choose the wrong truck when you change truck? It's honestly, with 100% accuracy, it never ever chooses to see the truck that I want, ever. Right, this mission will be pretty bloody easy to do with a pair of these, to be honest. Actually in Eastern Europe when Chernobyl blew its lid. That's pretty crazy, man. It'd be pretty cool to go there one day, I reckon. I watched a film actually the other month, can't remember what it was, but they had a loaf, and then they all went to Chernobyl, and then some weird, like, I don't know, zombie sort of people attacked them, and they attacked the loaf. I refuse to believe that happened. Pretty sure the Loaf would have kicked the shit out of everything that came near it, but they've got to dramatise that kind of stuff for the movies, I suppose. The A's behind just keep ramming my trailer. I seen someone the other day say, I always complain about these ramped... That was close. I always complain about these ramped flatbeds, but then I always use them. It's like, well, yeah, if they had some other kind of thing, so I can have 6 slots without apart from like the 8-slot trailer, because I probably can't stand that even more. But yeah, I'm not exactly thrilled about it myself. Have you tried hard mode yet? I've not yet. No, I've just been so busy doing the reviews and the map exploration videos. I've not even got around to it. Again, I'll do a bit of gameplay on it, but I'm not really interested in like doing a whole playthrough on hard mode. By now, it's just a load more restrictions. If they were more fun in mind with the game in general these days, maybe I'd consider it, but considering how stupid they make some of the snow and all the rest of it, I'm not really, like, I don't care about another list of arbitrary limitations and restrictions that I'm going to have placed on me on top of that, so yeah, it's just stuff like you can't resell your trailers and blah blah blah. It's the same game, just, I don't know, sounds more like awkward mode than hard mode. The catfish are still glowing, I bet they are. Probably not even a catfish anymore, like a tiger fish. Excuse me, Loaf. See, Loaf didn't take damage. He damaged the iceberg. That's why you don't push a Loaf around. One done. Hard mode, Super Dolphin. That's all I've got to say about that. That's the thing, if you can use mods on it as well. It's more the money thing that I'm not keen on with hard mode, because, well, you've seen from the amount of trailers I just scatter over the maps and all sorts, like, sometimes time-wise I can't afford to be taking every single trailer back. I'd rather just say goodbye to the trailer. And, yeah, long story short, I'll end up skin on hard mode, and that's it. And then I won't be able to use much footage on it, because, I don't know, it's one of them, you can't really, it doesn't seem like you'll be able to mess around a lot. It's kind of going to force you to stick to the point. And yeah, I do enjoy a bit of messing. Apparently as well, good news, they're on the PTS, the test server thing, Jesus Christ, apparently when you winch to a vehicle, its engine, or like, I think when you switch and that, its engine will stay on. Which if you've seen my garage unlocked video on Chimcharuski, yeah, that one mechanic of the fact that the engine is always off seriously screwed me over. The 8-slot trailer really works well behind the Antarctic. I was totally surprised. Yeah, because the Antarctic sits so nice and high, so all the crap under the trailer. I just wish they'd give us a version of the 8-slot that didn't have loads of all those random boxes and everything all sticking out underneath. Because in real life, I would rip them off anyway, but even if I didn't, I'd rip them off along the journey by scraping them over rocks and all sorts. Like, yeah, it's just, again, it's one of those things where they add something, but there has to be a catch to it. Like, they can't just add something that's good or useful and that's it. There has to be a punishment for them trying to use the useful thing or the good thing. But yeah, I mean, these ramp flatbeds, this is like the only way I can think of to travel with like 12 slots of cargo in a road train. If there was a way around it, I could obviously use a sideboard semi-trailer, but I can only have 5 then. It'd be like a 10 cargo road train. Yeah, the engine off thing is a bug apparently. We all just thought it was a chain. Yeah, oh, well, that's good. At least it's a bug. Pretty terrible bug. But again though, I've got a feeling, I'm assuming then they're just going to wait until the next full update to fix it, and it's like, if there was some bug where people couldn't buy the Brigadier and spend real money, guaranteed fucking tea, they'll have that thing fixed within the hour. But when it comes to a game bug, they're like, well, we'll just fix it in the next update. And the same thing happened on Black Ops 4. Again, there was bugs that were just horrific that were in the game for ages. And then one day, the black market broke where you couldn't buy things, and genuinely, in less than an hour, they had it fixed. I was like, oh, that's convenient. So why can't the F-750 use scout trailers? It's a scout truck. True, yeah, they should have let it have, like, both. I don't really see what the problem is. There's a lot of weird things in this game that it's not going to break the game or make it easier, it's just more convenient. Stuff like that, I mean, that's part of the reason why I don't use the Scout F-750 that much. There's quite a lot of trucks in this game that they're alright, except for one thing that just ruins it. Yeah, like say the Cat 745C, that can't have trailers, that now just makes it a pretty useless truck. It's like the 49X is classed as heavy. There's nothing heavy about it, true. That doesn't weigh a lot. And it wheel spins like a mad one. It just, I don't know, yeah. I like the look of it and everything, but that's another pretty useless truck. The only, out of all the stuff you can buy, don't do it, trailer. The Navistar is the best and actually worth it. Like the what do you call it? The Apache is crap. The Western Star, I mean, again, looks nice, but it's basically useless. The Brigadier, not amazing. And it's funny because, like, when they did the Car Marshal, everyone, well, a load of people moaned at the beginning that the Car Marshal was OP. I can guarantee you it wasn't. It was a death trap on wheels. Like, it was quicker than the stock CK, but give it 2 minutes and the thing would have rolled 28,000 times. But they nerfed it, and people are like, oh, pay to win. It's like, pay to win? Like, we're not against each other on some online game. Like, I can see the concept of pay to win with stuff like Call of Duty, if you can buy some OP gun and shoot other people, but who cares on a game like this? If they add good stuff and you want to buy it to enjoy your SnowRunner game, I don't see what the problem is. Cat CT681 and Western Star, pretty good for short logs. Maybe, yeah, the only thing, again, the Western Star, wheels span, like, that's the main thing I remember in my head about it. It just would not stop wheels spinning everywhere, instead of having traction. But again, it's an American vehicle, so it's kind of not been given the best tyres. Run these over separately, because probably won't go well if we're trying to do a whole road train. Still can't get the Navistar. Yeah, it sucks, man. I can't believe. I don't know why they don't sort that out. Because the Navistar is genuinely a nice truck in this game. It feels properly weighted. It feels like quite a nice, realistic truck. It's pretty nice on the power. It's certainly not overpowered though. There is like the Tiger would objectively be better than it, and the Dolphin, etc. But it's just, yeah, it's like just a nice feeling truck to drive. Oh, the trailer's going to be a tosser. That is exactly why I don't like the ramp flatbed. I can't even reverse now because that trailer will tip and flip my cargo off. Excuse me. So again, this is the one time where articulated steering is actually quite nice. And at least it's pretty cool with this Fox's iceberg mod, that there's still a bit of the articulation in there, but it's got like rear steer and normal steering as well. Can we reach anything? So I'm just going to mute it for a sec. I really need to cough. It's good stuff. I notice most US trucks in the game, yeah, don't know exactly, pretty much all of them. There is one or two exceptions, like, what's it, the ANK has got the Tiger custom mud things now, what's it called, the twin steer. I'm pretty certain that's got, like, the muds and the chained, like, the mud version of chained or whatever. But yeah, for the most part, none of them do, and it's a bit of a shame, really, because I don't see why. Yeah, why all DLC versions are crap, because people can play. Yeah, exactly. Like, everyone lost their mind because some people got the car marshal at the start if they had the season pass on that. Which, to be honest, I find kind of a dick thing, because, with all due respect, for someone who didn't buy the season pass, like, I got no problem with that, but you play your game, don't start crying about my game, like, that has nothing to do with you and doesn't affect you in any way whatsoever. Now you just wrecked it for everybody when you didn't have it anyway and you're still not going to buy it, so, like, yeah, it's just a dick move. And it really, really wasn't overpowered. Like, again, ask anybody who had it, they drove it for 5 minutes and then they didn't, because what time you gained in extra speed, you lost in rolling and then having to bring your CK anyway to come and flip the thing back over, so it very quickly just became obvious that it was a waste of time to bother using. It was too risky, too rolly, too crazy, like the mechanics on it were all just not right. But yeah, I think that's why, like, they're basically worried that if they had a good truck, everyone would go, oh god, pay to win. Like, yeah. Isn't that how life works? You don't go into McDonald's and be like, oh god, it's pay to eat. Feels good to start the game fresh and have a garage with 8 trucks. Sure, I bet it's quite sort of, yeah, clean, tidy garage for a while. I suppose it's pretty nice if you start a game, obviously you can sell a lot of those trucks. And you've already got a nice lump of money, because that was one of the things at the start. I didn't mind it when I was obviously first starting the game. I'd find it a little bit tedious now if I restarted a game, for how long I had practically no money. Whereas, yeah, now I'd be able to sell, like, the 49X, the Apache, the Brigadier, all sorts of stuff. I remember when I saved up for the top engine in the Navistar, that absolutely took me ages to save up for it, and then absolutely skinted me out once I got it. If they did have muds, they'll be better than the Russian trucks, quite possibly. And again, it's just an odd thing not to add muds, because it clearly has no basis in reality. Just good old-fashioned Russian bias. Get that in quite a lot of games for some reason. Yeah, what do you call it? World of Tanks Blitz is another renowned one for a bit of Russian bias, but then I would also say, in their defence, Russians did build some pretty good tanks, so if their tank is just better, then it's kind of their win, isn't it? That's not bad really. Well, we'll get this done. It's going to be about 50 minutes took to do both these missions and get Cosmodrome unlocked, and that's live as well without editing, so it's pretty quick. This sounds quite nice. If you flip the throttle, sounds like a good bit of engine there. RU trucks still have way more power than any of the US trucks. Yeah, a lot of them do. I think the Russians have got like the better selection of engines, but there is some good engines with the US stuff. They just don't necessarily let you have that engine option. I mean, overall, yeah, they're like, objectively, the Russian trucks are better in this game. And again, to a degree, in real life, it's not to say that America couldn't build trucks that would easily compete and then some, but Russia actually is like kind of this sort of terrain. I mean, questionable on the Gorilla Glue snow and all the rest of it, but yeah, Russia has to build like full-on purpose-built off-road trucks, whereas America, in that sense, like they build roads. If they really want to go somewhere often, they'll build a road, whereas in Russia, I've seen someone sort of say like there's not a lot of population in Russia, so it's cheaper to build a truck that can go off-road than to build a road, whereas in America there's just enough people and etc. that it makes sense to build a road. Oops, sorry, I've seen Hey, have a good stream. If you're off, dude, I appreciate you joining us. Chris Pytech, don't get me wrong, the Azov brand is my go-to. The Azovs are pretty solid. For the most part, I'd say, yeah, the majority of the vehicles in this game I drive are the Russian ones, like the Dolphin, the Loaf. Well, I mean, they're probably some of the main ones, but yeah, the Taiga, the Vorons. Like, as far as the American stuff goes, I like the twin steer, but the normal one, like not Fox's mod, is very tippy, so I don't use that a hell of a lot either. Christ, how does I watch where I'm going? Where would the fun in that be? You can see that little spaceship anywhere? I can't see him at the minute. So is it just not there, or is this the time of the day? Let's have a look. If he appears, maybe you have to be close enough. Oh, there he is. Lazy little bastard. Then again, one day we'll probably get to catch that UFO. It'll turn out to be a Loaf. Would not surprise me. It takes a week by rail to cross Russia. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It takes less than a day to cross England in rail, and I'd still be pissed off about it. Never mind a whole week. But again, it's funny, like I said, obviously I live in England, but I've friends and stuff that live in the Isle of Man. Funnily enough, it was 17 years ago yesterday, my dad died racing in the TT. Yeah, and when you're in the Isle of Man, like, if you're in Douglas or something and you've got to go to Castletown, people are like, oh my god, that's right at the bottom of the island, and it's like, yeah, about 10 minutes away, you lazy bastard. But then to us in England, like, I wouldn't like to drive for a few hours, but then when my grandparents lived in America, they knew people that would just say, yeah, I'm off to visit my sister in, like, the other side of America for a day. And it'd be like a 3-day drive just to go and say hello to their sister. Which obviously, yeah, seems crazy in England, but it's just funny how... Obviously, the bigger the country you live in, you can see why on all those Russian dashcam, like, crash videos on YouTube, you look at it and think, geez, that guy's going 120 mile an hour in a snow blizzard, no wonder they crashed. However, when you've probably got like 700 miles or something to go, I can see why they just pin their foot to the floor and hope for the best, like, sod it. I'd rather risk death than get there before I'm an old man anyway. Like, Russia's definitely the real deal as far as the old terrain and everything go. I remember years ago when ISIS was said they're going to invade Russia. It was like, yeah, that's funny. Ask Hitler how that went. One thing you don't do is try a land invasion of Russia. Let alone ISIS. Christ, could you imagine them that are used to, like, living in the desert trying to attack Russia? They'll be popsicles by the end of the day. Winnipeg, I see, was it a 24-hour drive? Like, I could probably go up and down the length of Britain more than a couple of times over the thought. You used to have to drive to the boat in Haitian to get the boat over to the Isle of Man, and that was about 2.5 hour drive from where I lived, and yeah, even that felt painful. That was part of the reason we got that V8 Beamer in the end. And I have to say, it did save us once, because we always used to drive at night, because there was less traffic and that, but there was a crash on the motorway and we got held up, and we genuinely, like, because the motorway had been held up, like, all night, there was obviously no traffic on the other side of it. And when we eventually got allowed to pass, we were, like, one of the first cars, and we just sat at about 140, 150 all the way to Haitian, and just as we pulled into the sea dock things, they were closing the gates, and then they opened them. Well, they like didn't quite lock them, so they just quickly pulled them back open and let us through. So yeah, if we weren't going twice the speed limit, we wouldn't have made it. It was quite nice as well, knowing that the whole motorway in front of us was absolutely just dead. It was like, I mean, Germany's got the Autobahn. We need more speed limits like that all over the place. America's really strict with speed limits though, aren't you? I've seen a lot of places in America that's like a massive wide open straight road and there's like a 50 speed limit on it. Like, what the hell? Done. Let's check out the Cosmodrome. Did Winch that? No, I did. Best bud in USX Army. Hummer was garbage, held together with tape. I seen a video, was it some guy in the army had like sabotaged the parachutes as they were dropping, like airdropping Hummers. You just see 3 of them splat into the ground. It's pretty cool to see. But I believe he got caught for sabotaging them because he just so happened to be recording it happen, and it's like, yeah, the chances of you knowing to record and all 3 of them hitting the floor, like, clearly you've made sure that happens. They set US speed limits with the assumption that people drive about 5 or 10 over it. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, in England there's like the motorway speed limit is 70, and they've talked about upping it to 80, but in reality everybody goes 99.5 on the motorway because you'll lose your license if you go over 100, but you'll just get a slap on the wrist if you go under 100. So everybody goes 99.5 miles an hour, except slow wankers in the slow lane. But yeah, other than that, and that's why they just didn't bother, because there's no point. If they up it to 80, then they'll try and put speed cameras and all the rest of it, and yeah. And I've gone past police at like 90 on the motorway. They generally don't care, as long as the road's like, obviously, if it was raining and all the rest of it, they'd pull you over in a second. But if it's just a nice half-empty motorway and everyone's cruising along at 80 and 90, they don't really care. Ticket Lucky 153, hello, how's it going, dude? Aussie man, only reason the military don't care how much trucks break down is unlimited labour force to keep them. True. I mean, it must be pretty nice when you've got like the entire US tax collection to spend on stuff. I have to say that America does have some seriously good shit. When you see their army stuff, it's like, goddamn, you got some good toys. I might now want to go with some of them. And even when it was time to apparently get Bin Laden, we're just like, oh yeah, we've got a stealth helicopter sat around in Area 51 if you'd like to borrow it. Like, yes please. I mean, that's the shit they tell us about. That's what they've got in Area 51 that they still ain't giving away. Like, that was old boring stock to them. A stealth Black Hawk thing. And to be fair, your stealth bomber does look stunning. Your stealth bomber, the SR-71 Blackbird, they are like genuinely impressive feats of engineering. What the hell am I stuck on? Good thing the UK roads allow you to go 10% over the speed limit, but I think they should still up it to like 80. Yeah, true. The old 10% rule. That saved a lot of us. Well, again, touch wood, I've never had a speeding ticket, never nothing. I'm a good boy. Good boy, just good at not getting caught. Like I said though, I don't like to drive like an idiot. Like, I like to drive a bit fast, but there's a time and a place for it. Like, there's a nice clear road ahead of me, and clearly I'm not going to hit anybody. And I might put my foot down a bit, but yeah, I'm not reckless with how I drive, because I just don't want to be. I don't want some other arsehole smashing into me, so I'll do my best to make sure I don't do it to anyone else. They have a zero tolerance rule. Even if you go one over the speed limit, you get pulled over. God damn, where's that? Remind me not to go there. I mean, I think in England, partly like 10% rule is... It's hard to say. Like, some speedos, you could be doing 30 miles an hour, but it says 27, so you might speed up to 30, and now you're doing 33 miles an hour. And generally in England as well, it'll be like the case for cars. A lot of cars are set slightly slower, so when it says 30, you're actually doing about 27. So with a 10% rule, you can actually go about 36, 37 in a 30 and still wing it. But again, not that I really do. Well, I ain't got a car at the minute when I sold my M5. It's good timing really with all this bloody COVID bollocks. Right, so what should we do? Could go and pick some kind of... Well, it's up to you. Let us know in the comments. We can either mess around on Cosmodrome, or I can just fly straight to Chimcharuski and go and fly around there. Or we can crack another mod out, or whatever. Please don't show off your speedo. I don't know about that. The thing is, like you say, you got places like in Germany where you got the Autobahn, which is a perfectly reasonable way to travel. And then you got Isle of Man with no speed limits, which is great over there. And of course, England's always moaning at them to try and cap their speed limits, but I don't blame them. Well, it doesn't really matter what speed limit you set. The crazy people are still going to go what speed they're going to go, and they're going to die anyway. Everyone else is alright. Helicopter speedo doesn't work. 2 tickets, 1 for speed and 1 to fix the speedo. That sounds about right. I must admit, I certainly wouldn't tell a cop my speedo doesn't work. It would not go well. Like, in the history of that, do you reckon any cop has ever gone, oh, sorry, I'll rip this ticket up. On your way. Like I said though, if you want to get technical, speed limits are, 1, an advisory, they're not the law. Yeah, if you're travelling in a private conveyance, then you can technically go whatever speed you like. Let's see what other mods I've actually got that we can have. I've heard the Rhino is not bad on these maps. The wheels look really small on that though. Especially when you compare it to something like that. Wouldn't mind trying this though, because I've got a feeling this will be a bit of a beast on this map. Oh, good old horn. What are some of the more popular cars in the UK? It depends on your definition of popular. Like, sadly, it's going to be all the sort of crappy, nondescript, bland cars that technically sell the best. Let's see if we can jump a Loaf. Bit off centre, but it'll do. Oh yeah, I've not got got chained on this. I want that horn on my car, yeah, exactly. 60 to 80 is German luxury sedans. They're pretty nice. I have to say, what the Germans, they do make some pretty bloody nice cars. Personally, I do like, yeah, my BMWs. But they are, the Germans, they're pretty well made stuff. Still can't win a war though. Let's go for a little roam. Loaf parkour, he did a mighty fine job. They increase the speed limit here. The stat shows that there are less accidents because people spend less time on the road. But yeah, I did it here in America, in like all the states where they legalised cannabis. The rate of crashes dropped by like 50% or something. Please horn again, don't have to have me twice. Love a bit of that horn. Rhino may have small tyres, but it has a lot of them. That's true. I'll get it out in a minute. That's what she said. See how this thing goes. Well, yeah, it won't like the old roads. Saying that, or is this thing, it doesn't particularly feel like it. I was going to say, is it coded like studded muds or anything like that? We've done that mission on what you think will take 10 minutes. Yet 3 hours later, yeah, there's some of them like that on this game, for sure. I mean, to be fair, that heap of work on to unlock Cosmodrome wasn't that brutal. They could have made that a lot worse. Just want to see how some of these mods just handle like the super snow. Put it in high, it's going pretty nice. Like I said, a lot of the time I just like to drive around the map. I don't always need it to be punishing me. It's just nice to enjoy the view, enjoy the drive, have a good old time. Oh man, that skipped ahead. I've seen something, say a 1974 something BMW. Sounds pretty good. I bet it'll be worth a bit of dough now. Like I said, in storage, I've got a 1987 BMW 325 IS M-Tech 1, which are disgustingly rare. I believe there was less than 200 ever made, so they're sort of like rarer than Bugatti. And they're a bit like the first sort of M3, the first right-hand drive M3. And yeah. They're going up in value. I got it for like 900 quid ages ago when it was probably like, didn't have a logbook or anything. Took a bit of a chance, but it's a rare old beast. Well, yeah, I really wouldn't want to part ways with it. The Loaf crack up every time that engine starts. Oh, goddamn nuclear engine he has. Beast. I'm liking that, like. Has this got a... I haven't even got an autonomous on this. It's down to you, Loaf. What's... oh, the crane. I could hardly see it. That thing does not want to let me go. Right. Imandra rules. Again though, it's just, there's too much of the super snow going on. I didn't hate Imandra, I just found it quite boring. Like, considering it's a map with a garage on it, I've not really been on it since, because everywhere you go is driving like this. And again, like I say, it wasn't horrible, it was just felt really just slow-paced and boring, and the same thing just repeated again and again, for me personally. This could be a fat little beast to try and roll, we'll see. Get through this boring super snow first. Sweet bee matches, man. It's well, yeah, it's not in amazing condition to be honest, but everything's there. It's all like, it's all good. I'd like to get it sort of restored one day. I'm gonna try and wedge behind this rock, but apparently this super snow has other plans for me. Wedge on that right. I probably would have been better going like my bumper first, really, because yeah, the back end's quite good at sort of slipping over things rather than hooking on them. Oh, sorry, I've seen which map. Club max pack. I've not tried the clubs, I don't think, in the max pack, but I assume they're pretty good. See if this works a little better. If not, I'll just grab another mod. Come on, dig in. Give it one more go, if not. I know I can flip it with this, but again, I don't really like to sit here and waste too much of my live stream time. Cola is region, not single map. Yeah, what is that, Lake? That's the one, isn't it? Lake Cobden and Mandra. Which out of the two, I prefer Lake Cobb, because at least it had... Did I just winch from the back? That's weird. Yeah, Lake Cobb had like that sort of river running down the middle of the map, which was quite nice. Sorry, we'll switch to another vehicle. I'll sort that one later, but to be honest, it looks like it's just going to keep scraping towards me on its side rather than actually flip. What was it? Yeah, let's give the Rhino... Is that genuinely, though, the biggest tyres that are on the Rhino? Or have I just not chose the biggest tyres? They just look really small. Surely. Ah, I might have had... oh yeah, I've got, what, 58s on, it goes to 61. It's a little bit better. They still do look a bit small, though. I quite like them, to be honest. Oh, I'm only giving you them 58s. Why? And then 58s. That's a bit crap. No more 100% rescue rate for the Loaf. Oh, I can rescue that easy. I've just said it. I've done it before. Like, I'm not going to sit on a live stream and mess around doing it, because yeah, I don't think everybody really tunes into a live stream to just sit there messing around, like wedging behind trees and stuff. The Loaf will have him out, no problem. I'll put it in a video if you really want. Where should we go? What should we do? Do we go straight to Chimcharuski, or do we stay on here? This is why I took the muds off the Bandit and put the off-road back on. It just slides on its side with the muds. Yeah, true, I know what you mean, but then those custom muds kind of sit it a little bit wider to where it doesn't roll as easily in the first place, but I know what you mean. It's I believe I did it on one of the Bandits as well for that same reason. Oh, we will rescue it, just not on stream. Yeah, I ain't even, like, that's a piece of piss. There's even trees nearby, so that one isn't even a worry, but the boring part is scraping the loaf at 0.1 mile an hour through the snow to get to that tree and blah 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 blah. Yeah, like I said, just not on live stream because it's a bit boring for some people. Try the links or lumps pack. The problem is with them is it's about like an entire gigabyte to download them, and that's like, I can't really afford that kind of memory at the minute with the amount of other mods I've got. They need to tone it down. I mean, Fox's mods like use practically nothing, so, and JB mods, they use hardly anything as well. Well, I don't know, we'll set off that way and do something. Like, again, I'm open to suggestions, but I just more wanted to use the mods on these maps, see how they do on the maps, but I'm not really bothered about what missions we do or don't do. Chim Chim, we'll start heading that way then. See how all this can go round this roadblock. Good plan. Custom snow tyres are the best for the Rhino. Is that the ones I've got on now? It's a bit crap that they don't make them 61 inch though. I don't like it when I can't have the biggest tyres. Well, I might as well collect that quickly. Super Snow does really hurt the streamability of this game. Yeah, it does. It pisses me off. Like, that's one thing that sort of almost stresses me out when I'm doing live streaming, is that every time I hit a boring bit, it's just I'm just as aware, like, yeah, this is just not fun to watch. Like, I wouldn't blame people for turning it off. And again, that's why I'm not going to flip that P16, because I'll just be messing around for 10 minutes trying to crawl through snow, and I can't really be arsed doing that at the minute. There is a roadblock, yeah, I'll go this way. I mean, overall, and that's on the street, like, overall it sort of wrecks the fun of the game a bit though, because, yeah, it's just not realistic. Right, I'm definitely hoping for Season 2 they have more ideas up their sleeve than just let's keep adding more and more Super Snow, and then, well, now we've got Death Snow and Death Mud. Like, who knows what they'll do next. By the time it's Season 3, they'll just, I don't know, you spawn in the garage, you're locked in place, and that's it. You have to wave at everybody to complete the map. We are here for the commentary as well as gameplay. I appreciate you guys. Certainly would be nice if the gameplay on some things was a bit more free-flowing. I mean, again, I could go back to some of the original maps, but to a degree I think we've all kind of seen them done to death anyway. I'd like to get a bit more gameplay and so on these maps. I mean, that Chimcharuski map we're heading to, that's actually been pretty fair out of most of them. I actually think Cosmodrome isn't too bad. Oh my god. Well, thanks, ice. I'd be amazed if this one can crawl out of this, but let's give it a go. So I'm not as bothered now because I'm just messing around with mods, but that ice used to do that shit to me on Imandra when I was doing that Star in the Sky mission, which was seriously annoying. I mean, again, that's another bug they could really do with fixing ice that fires itself out of the floor when you're driving over it. Right, let's see how well this thing can swim. We ain't going that way. Right, I'm stuck in place, can't reverse, can't go forward. That dynamic gameplay in action.
me. Oh yeah, shit, I recovered, didn't I? Thought I just abandoned it. Right. That had its chance. And it blew it. Could try that bear thing. Oh, I'll tell you, yeah, I would like to try this. See? Muds with chains. What a novel idea. I know this. I don't know, actually, I felt a little bit speedy then. We are going to have to throw a loaf in. It's just the rules. Oh, we've got one that's already... Here's one I made earlier. Yes. Still got that engine. So again, I need to unlock a lot of this. Cue the Titanic theme song. Exactly. But you see there, I wouldn't mind if I cocked it up, but that was literally, yeah, like ice shot out of the ground and threw me off the thing. Which is a tad unfair. And imagine if I had some kind of cargo that I needed to get somewhere that, like, that's the only cargo there is. And that just flung it all into the water. I would not, yeah, would not be impressed. I mean, in that situation, the best thing to do, I can't do it on the live stream because it'll cut the live stream, but gee, I need to upgrade more of these loaves. Yeah, you could turn the game off, like restart it. No, forget it, I'll just get a crane. It's that ice baby. Some dangerous stuff. So one thing I find annoying with the weakness of these long cranes is you have to park so close to the thing you're lifting that the crane's too long, but then as soon as you extend it, it'll just start dropping. Well, most of the time, there is every now and then, we'll see. Just get the load straight, but if I extend the crane... I didn't actually do it that time. Typical. He's in. I like this nice deep sideboard. You should buy another loaf. I've got plenty of loaves, but now I'm going to go and get another loaf. I'm going to stick them on the roof. Ooh, fine tune locked like I give a shit. The Azov Barbos is awesome. Is that, yeah, that's the one with 6 wheels, isn't it? I think overall I prefer the bear one, only because, I don't know, I suppose it's kind of cool, like just the bigger the vehicle in general sort of helps in this game, but it's stuff you don't see as often. I think that's why they need to add more kind of random, massive, cool stuff in this game. Stuff like the Brigadier, it's cool, but it's like, yeah, it's been done. It's just another 6-wheeled vehicle. Like that. Cool to see a jungle or a desert region. Yeah, exactly. Like I was saying, something like an Australian region would be pretty cool, and yeah, jungle would be cool as well. And even though the game is SnowRunner, they've, I don't know, I kind of feel like they've checkmated themselves a little bit with snow. I think a lot of people are kind of getting bored of the snow because, yeah, for the most part, it's not very fun to drive on. I mean, it might look good. Got to make sure the horn works. We will. That's a good point. Again, with this cargo, like, Jesus Christ, speed that it rotates. Right, I'm not playing a game of fucking Operation. It's all good. Loaf approved. And we're off. Get a bit of daylight on the go. Speedrunner Loaf max upgrade. I've certainly practiced upgrading Loafs. I've got some serious stock winches and everything piling up. You can barely hear the engine in this thing. Yeah, the bloody air brake's better than the engine. Them jiggling around, having a good old time. Sometimes you just gotta jiggle your Loaf. Can it get up here? Oh, always makes you slide off that bloody post. We'll see, but I've got a feeling this way is gonna not go very well. Eric Kenyon, evening YouTube, and Melons Wolf. What do you know about my melons? Well, considering it's like horrific death ice, we are actually moving faster than wind erosion, so it's a start. Mr. Loaf, autocorrect, it's all good, dude. Autocorrect is savage. I always find every now and then it spells words for me, even worse, I've spelt the word correctly and it just decides, oh no, maybe you wanted this word, like, no, I fucking didn't actually, that's why I spelt the one that I just spelt. But it'll add a word that I've never typed, never said, never pronounced. It's like, where the hell did you come up with that? Like, what made you think that was the word I needed? Soffit's rock or something. About 5 years ago, autocorrect was pretty good. Now it's just a prick. And yet I'm too lazy to spell things correctly sometimes. Reverse sound pathetic. It is like a squeaky little... Is this the one where the slower you reverse as well, it kind of goes... like it's about died at the same time? I love it when she jiggles the Loaf. Exactly. You've got a pair of Loafs jiggling. That's what you call a good time. Getty up, Zix. Drop the hammer. We're off to see the wizard, Chimcharuski. We're not running in the snow, we're moving at the speed of smell. Exactly, it's like SnowRunner, really. Not Snowcrawler. Did that not cross your mind? Snow sit in it for a while and complain at how bloody slow it is. Like, there's a lot of names we could have suggested for them. Runner certainly wasn't high on the list. Aussie man. I don't know what the hell that says. That's some serious autocorrect. Spiel check. Oh, in fact, I best not read it off because no me. I've just gone and told some tribe in the arse end of Africa to go fuck themselves or something. Snow eroder. Something like that. Gotta love that country bread. You certainly have. I mean, again, now I've got roof racks. There's a Loaf that can do it all when we get up this bank. Right, we have. Snow, go make a sandwich, come back and see if you're out of it yet. There was a mission the other day, I can't remember if I said it in a video, this is genuinely true. I hit some... Oh yeah, it was exploring Northern Aegis. When I hit that death ice, I wedged my remote kind of into my sofa in a certain way that it kept the throttle pinned, and I went and made a coffee, made a sandwich, I fed the cat. I think I even whipped a few plates around, put them in the sink. Like I was doing housework and stuff. So like when I came back, I was still just getting out of it by then, but yeah, I was like, for 10 minutes, easy. I wasn't looking at the game, I was in the other side of my flat. Just let this thing crack on its own. And, oh yeah, well, it wasn't in the Northern Aegis footage in the end, because I kind of just restaged it, but yeah. I mean, that's when you know it's bad. When you can literally just leave the game to do its own thing and go and make a sandwich and a drink and everything. That's when you know the snow is a bit too slow. I think I don't mind if they add new snow regions, but I would like to see them add studded mud tyres. Yeah, I agree. And submersible vehicles. Bloody hell. I don't know why I had so much trouble saying that. Yeah, no, I do agree. Again, like, I don't automatically hate the snow. I hate their idea of snow. And again, if you're talking like a normal vehicle driving through snow, fair enough. But stuff like this is a purpose-built military-grade off-road truck that was built to handle Russian off-roading. And in this game, they just make sure, like, nothing can handle it comfortably anyway. Like, you don't successfully cross the terrain in this game so much as you, like, limp across it and fingers crossed and hope for the best. It'd be nice to have trucks that can actually, yeah, handle it. And I know mods do cater to that, but then there's, at the same time, I do, like, I kind of want to complete the game with the stuff they intended it to be completed with, but in some situations it's getting to a point where it's just, like, ridiculous. You're going to need 2 service spare parts to unlock that gate. Am I? I know there are service spare parts over here. Do you just, is it like the blockage before you get there? Because I can just drive around that. I'm gonna risk it. There's a roadblock just before you get there, but there is a way to just drive around it. God, yeah, it's this bloody tree block thing as well now, and I wonder if I can ram my way over this. It worked last time. So it was caught on that tree pretty good. Oh crap. Loaf failed. See, save me tipping though. That's what you get from a goddamn professional. Oh well, this is not looking good, is it? Oh, it's looking better. Just need to get the front end round. It seemed to grip onto that tree for dear life. Where's my bloody winch point? Keep wheeling my arse. Something will happen eventually. Loaf down. It's all good. It's just taking soil samples. That's what he's doing. I was going to say, I think I'm stuck on something because the front's free. I think it's this bloody tree. What, the one that stood up? Looks like glitched into me. There we go. It's probably going to slide back. I got through it pretty easy last time, but I was in a Dolphin. It was a little bit skinnier than this thing. There we go. More like a glove. Like, what logic made the winch point start over there? Let's go Loaf. See? Headbutts that post for not being more helpful sooner when we're off. Winch selection point really need a quality life overhaul. They really do, man. Like the logic behind how it chooses it is just like the opposite of logic. And it's a shame in a way, because again, it's still an extremely good game. I'd still, if somebody said, should I buy this game? It's like, well, assuming you kind of like this kind of stuff, then yeah, there's the amount of hours you get for your money. It's good value, but there's so many little things that are just like, say, quality of life improvements that in one day there's like 20 little things they could patch that would make this game so much better. And they're only little things, not like anything major, just yeah, like start the winch point at 12 o'clock to where I'm looking. And it does it as far as like an autonomous winch. If I look that way, it'll winch to a tree over there, so it's like, why can't it just start my winch over there if I'm looking that way? And yeah, it's just lots of little things like that that they don't tidy up. It's a shame. Those tree blocks are trolls. They are. I mean, technically speaking, I suppose I could clear it, but like I said, I kind of rammed my way through there in mid-open. I think this thing's just a little bit wider though. Are you sure what I'm stuck on there? Well, I actually think it's all this broken bit of like wooden road. I don't even think there's a mission or anything to fix this bit. I've been through it a couple of times and it's a bit of a pain in the ass. If it was up to me, sort of either fix the road or rip those wooden things out completely. Oh yes, that was really that difficult, was it, game? Get my loaf, oh, damn it. See again, like, prioritise the vehicle behind me that I'm aiming at. We're away. Great game for the sadomasochists among us. Well, it's true. There is a certain level of like self-flagellation when you're playing this game. I wish that the auto winch would start at the centre. Yeah, to my camera, exactly. The fact that within reason the autonomous one does, like, the coding's already practically there. Just me, or has this thing decided to go incredibly slowly all of a sudden? Oh, we're getting a bit faster again. I think the guy will get a new shirt or hat in Season 2. So I've already got my loaf hat. That's the only hat I need. See, again, this is one reason I quite like this sort of deep sideboard thing you can put on this, because obviously like that loaf on the roof, once the game disconnected it, it falls off. Funnily enough though, this one actually stayed packed, but even if it did disconnect, he would have just stayed in there. So this is a nice little speed to be travelling. It's more like it. I think I'm slowing down for that bump now. You are very much mistaken. Changing the winch because I think it was winch from like the middle of my truck to the loaf for some weird reason. I could see like a winch cable sort of going past the top of my sideboard. This day of SnowRunner has been brought to you by Loaf, the only way to travel. Exactly. You never leave home without a loaf. Every now and then I try. Just because I'm rushing, or I'm like, oh, I've only got to nip over there. I'll be alright. 2 minutes later, like, god damn it, why didn't I just bring the loaf? What did I learn? Let's get my head around. Oh yeah, so... Oh no, it's this way. Yeah, somewhere like about there. What's closest instead of the thing I'm directly looking at? So, well, yeah, but sometimes it just starts in all sort of random places. Right, so yeah, there is like another log blockage there you can see to the gateway, but last time I just drove around this way and it went surprisingly well. We're in. This is where I just say, F it, bring the giant P16 tractor with 2 wheels all round and the super Tatra in, let's see if the map is tough enough. True, but I took the P16 out and rolled it, and it was one of those where it doesn't really want to roll back, it just kind of drags along on its side. Which, like I say, what I'll end up doing, I'll wedge a loaf behind a tree and I'll flip it onto its roof and roll it over that way. Because otherwise I'm just going to probably, by the looks of it, just winch it along on its side all the way up the mountain. Slowly but surely. Davey Irons, hello, how's it going, dude? Yeah, I mean, for the most part, the mods are like the solution to the super mud and everything they keep adding. And as some people have said, they appear to be making these maps with mods in mind, but a lot of people don't want to have to use mods in order to play the game. I mean, some people can't get mods, so they're kind of like pretty screwed. So we've got a little drive around this beast. Not too bad, thanks, good man. Giant mod with double wheels on every axle should be untippable. True, yeah, to be fair, that would obviously help widen it up a bit. See, sideboard kept the loaf in. Yes. It's a close one. Hi Mr. Lone Wolf, this DLC has pissed me off. The Death Snow and Death Mud are ridiculous. John Perkins, yeah, no, I agree. Like, there has been some enjoyable parts of it, but that certainly, yeah. I think we're all sick of it. Like, I don't know. I'm assuming the devs don't really pay attention much to feedback, because I haven't really... there's maybe like one person I've ever heard say, oh yeah, it's great, I love the Death Snow and all the rest of it. Like, pretty much everybody is just sick of it. But there's so much good to be had within the game still, that we all kind of still want to play the game, that we sort of have to play it and put up with the Death Snow and everything. But yeah, like, why the hell they don't just listen to their customer base and calm it down? Or is a polar bear? Oh, sorry, it just jumped up there. I've not seen any. Is it guy Stone Branson who's got a like a real life Loaf with a Hilux engine? Sounds like a beast. I think he said he'd seen a few wolves or something on these as well. The map is not DLC. Which one's that? It's just part 4 of year 1. Yeah, it's still DLC though, really, isn't it? Like, some people who didn't buy the season pass won't be able to have these maps. Really? Pretty sure I climbed up here in a Loaf the other day. I really didn't want to do that. Tell me I just rolled back down the same bit. Say it's this thing's sliding back. Like, I'm already out of gear, handbrake on and everything. Try from the middle winch point. Is that a tree? Yeah, that's just gonna pop out. Well, I would like to loop around, as I didn't last time. Otherwise I could just double back on myself and grab the old Loaf on the way back. Chinockmentsk is my favourite out of the 4 maps. Yeah, to be fair, I think they've certainly been more fair on this one than quite a lot of them. There's still too much death snow and everything for my liking, like unnecessary, but yeah, it still feels like a pretty nice balanced map. All things considered, well, not too impressed with this thing's off-road prowess, because my Dolphin got up here pretty bloody easy. A lot easier than this anyway. Just get your fat lazy chin up there, will you? Weird, the engine went so quiet that I thought, like, have I run out of fuel? Did I stall? No. Yes. Right, yeah, last time I doubled back on myself. This time we're going to go flying down this side. Kind of that way. God, so much for a speed run exploration with this bloody... So you won't be coming up that way without chained. It's like a big icy, look at the Loaf skidding in the time of his life. Yeah, trying to get in the sideboard. Probably got damn professional. Tried to self-load. Of course, you big fat chin hitter. Becomes relevant when it's the only practical way to finish. Is that like, yeah, using mods and stuff? I mean, long story short, the mods really is the way to go. Like, if I'm kind of... There's a certain sense of stubbornness that I'd like to complete the game with just the base trucks and all the rest of it, but... Yeah, if I wasn't making videos, I'd be more inclined to just use mods and... That's it, really. That's what I've kind of got to play through for each, though. And I certainly do, like... I suppose I complete a lot of the missions, like, with the base game stuff, and then, yeah, when I sort of redo it, with the mod stuff, it's certainly a lot more fun, enjoyable, relaxed. Have you taken the Zix down the runway yet? Which one? This one or the 605R? Not sure if I've taken this one down. I've definitely taken the Zix 605R down there. I don't think this one will go that fast down the runway. In fact, probably about as fast as I'm going now. 5th out of 5th gear. There's not really any resistance on this ice, unless it does that and shoots out the ground and tries to roll you again. I can't imagine moving expensive, volatile space technology in such conditions. It's true. Probably wouldn't do you many favours anyway. See, after a while, like with the ice damaging it, I just think that's part of the reason why I started using so many Loafs as roof racks, but after a while with the game mechanics, I just realised, like, even when you're trying to be careful not to take damage on the ice, you can go 2 miles an hour, it'll still delete your suspension. It can fire out the floor and tip you. Yeah, all sorts of stuff to where it's just like, fuck it, there's no point in putting the effort in. I'll just exploit the game mechanics. I do like the fact that these bridges flex a bit. That is a nice detail. The 605 is very disproportionate when compared to the other trucks in the game. Yeah, kind of. It feels like it's been coded with this new snow and death mud and everything in mind, but with stuff like going up the quarry hill in the review, it couldn't even get up the quarry hill, whereas even that Cat CT681 could. So it's, yeah, like it's pretty good with this phase in mind, but it's not as all out just like an OP truck or anything. There's quite a few places that it sort of struggles more than you'd think. A lot of weaker trucks can do better than it in certain situations. See now, like, it's slowing me down. I'm in an inch or two of snow. It was holding me back there. It's just not realistic. I like trying to use the stock trucks, but maps like this on the Yukon just make it not fun. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I haven't even completed all of the Yukon map yet, because I, the same here, I just kind of got bored of sitting at a mile an hour in super mud and all that, so. It's got tyres similar to the P16, and it's nearly impervious to damage. Yeah, you can definitely damage it though. And again, I don't really see what the problem is with that if it's like got massive tyres and is nearly impervious to damage. By now it's kind of like good. It's about time something was. Like I said, the way the game can delete your truck when you tap a slab of concrete at 1 mile an hour is way beyond real life, so. But you can break the suspension on the Zix. Oh, I know, because I've done it. Done it quite a few times. I certainly wouldn't say it's impervious. It's pretty strong though. It's certainly tougher than a lot of the trucks and suspension and that in this game. What's the difference between Super and Death Snow? Well, the Death Snow seems to be even more restrictive. Trucks like the Dolphin and that can go through Super Snow sometime, depending on like the level of the terrain and all the rest of it. Even in high gear it can plough along. Death Snow pretty much stops the Dolphin like stuck, or best case about 0.1 mile an hour. Whereas this thing, sorry, not this thing actually, the Zix 605R appears to, it still goes a couple of mile an hour in the Death Snow and the Death Mud, whereas near enough every other truck in the game
it's pretty much, yeah, death sentence. It just stops you and that's it. You got to winch to something, or if you can't reach anything, that's it. You're kind of stuck. But yeah, like I said, there's certain situations where the Zix is sort of not as good as the Dolphin and so on. But I think we all used to think the Super Snow and Super Mud was bad enough as it was, but yeah, now we miss the good old days where it was just Super Snow. Saw a 9x9 truck on Mud Runner. It's a short and not in English, so no idea what truck, but yeah, I'm not sure. With a 9x9. Death Snow locations have basically no bottom. No matter how large your tyres are, you always go about the same speed. Yeah, that's true. Get a bit of fuel while we're here. Yeah, the sad thing is, I mean, the Death Snow's even worse. Wish you didn't even have to keep holding the square to change the menu. Just make it a different button. Yeah, like the Death Snow and Death Mud, it's taken a lot of the dynamic, varied gameplay out of it. It's like, it's just completely horrifically slow for everything, or you get stuck, which is even worse. So it's like, yeah, it's pretty boring. Have you been to the location on this map with a huge hole? Do you know what? I've not. We'll have to go and check that out. It's over here somewhere, isn't it? It's like around there. I'll get this watchtower, and that should uncover it, and then we'll go and check it out if I can climb my way up there. I would care to test that theory with bottomless, with 91-inch tyres. True, I mean, stuff like, I suppose if you had that monstrosity thing as well, that'd probably fly over it. But yeah, within reason, it's like, well, it's not necessarily that it's bottomless, but yeah, there's never anything like underneath that you then grip to. It's just horrifically slow, and that's kind of your only option. I'm going to leave the Loaf here for a minute, because I could do with my winch. Try a bit of a different way. So this thing's going to tip. See again, that sideboard kept me loafing. I mean, surely at some point you would just dynamite the shit out of that little path, wouldn't you? You ain't going to be doing that every time. Damien Nicholson, hey Wolf, how's it going, dude? The whole location is near the log station, on which is closest to the garage. Oh, I think we may have found a different hole. She said. I'll show you in a sec, the one I was on about. I already know what you're going to try and do, game. Yeah, look. It's like a big hole there, but the garage is kind of over here, so... Is this the hole that... Is that the same one? I assume it is, because it's pretty bloody easy to see, but I don't know. Now you said there's one sort of over here somewhere, I assume. Loaf is MIA. We're going to go back for him in a minute. That's a different one. Well. Do we try and get to that one? Or do we go and look for the other one? Doesn't look like there's any particularly nice ways to get up there. Nice save, cheers man. I already just knew. The game expects you to get all think, oh yes, I'm only a few foot away from the watchtower, what could possibly go wrong? That's when they try and sneak one of those little camber bits on you. But now I want to throw a truck into both. Yeah, true. Well, I don't know which one to go to. What hole to choose. Story of my life. Decisions. Any truck you care to see if it is bottomless in? I don't know, what do you reckon? Do we go and try and attempt this hole? Or shall I carry on sort of up this way? Get a watchtower. Apparently there is another hole, but I don't know, I've not seen it myself. The other one is also deeper. The other one is easier to get to. Yeah, let's do that then. Yeah, we could drive that way, probably. Let's give it a go. See what I mean with those movable winch points? Like, what is the point? Well, I've said it in fact, I think it's when you tip in, the game purposely prioritises the trees that will pluck out the ground, so you can't, like, save yourself. And of course, annoying stuff like that. Clubs feel like they have a power rating of C. True, it'd be alright, yeah, I certainly wouldn't say no to a bit more oomph on the clubs. I feel like there's plenty of torque and everything to them, but yeah, a little bit more urgency to it would be nice. What ways are going to try and make us tip? Probably that way. Let's get all those shitty trees out of the way. Oh hey, we've got one that doesn't move. It's a miracle, I tell ya. Just get move out of the way. See what I mean? It's like, is that, are you happy now, devs? Is that what you wanted me to do? Mr. Loaf. Yeah, I wish there'd be a bit more, or a bit more information than, do we fix him or do I keep the roof rack? Just keep the roof rack. For now. Can always fix him later, but again, there's no point in fixing him now, really, because I might just smash him all up again on the way, so. Fix him once we get there. Let's see, how did it choose the middle winch point? Like, Jesus, who wrote this? Like, Harry the Crackhead. They just get some homeless guy on the street and like, we'll give you some crack if you code the winches for us. Look at it! What the fuck are you choosing that tree for when there's a loaf like an inch behind me? The max pack clubs run way better. Yeah, they've got a good selection of engines with the max pack stuff. Wish they'd give you direct numbers instead of, yeah, the ratio. Exactly, like power to weight doesn't tell you a lot of the story. I mean, it tells you the power to weight, but it don't tell you the weight or the power. They've somehow managed to have a power to weight statistic with absolutely no significance to it. This news map is hella tough. Certainly ain't no joke. Which I like for the most part. Literally, if you just... These maps, but minus the Super and Death Snow, if it was just normal, they'd be pretty bloody good. There'd actually be very little to fault about them. And again, if you're going to add Death Snow sections or whatever, at least make it look like it's deep enough that it's, you know, at my windows on my truck. Like, when it's literally a couple of inches, it's just like a normal car would get through that stuff, never mind a purpose-built off-roader. Oh, sorry. Not looking where I'm going. As usual. Any particular trucks you would enjoy throwing in a bottomless pit? Probably the Derry 4520. But I'd say the chances of that ever making it to the bottomless pit in the first place would be slim to none. Yeah, the Derry, that's certainly very high on my list. The P12 I'm not too keen on. It's when it's towing anything, it's just too gutless. It's not that bad on its own. That's why I mainly use it as a crane truck that just sits in the yard, but never really has to go anywhere. Mods are pretty much always better because they're just straight double or triple the values. Yeah, in a lot of cases with mods though, they're just better thought out as well. Got more options and like more stuff to mix and match and all the rest of it. Both of the Derrys are woefully underpowered, yeah, they are. I prefer that other Derry than the 4520. Still not a massive fan of it, but I'd rather take that than the yeah, the 4520. And the P12, yeah, exactly. Which is pretty crazy. Like the P16 feels great. The P12 is just like, pretty horrible, I think. Well, I'm going to cut through this way. I know it's somewhere that way. P12 is better than the fine-tuned gearbox in the auto gears. Possibly, but since they kind of broke every other gearbox when they added the fine-tune, is it actually better, or is it just not broken? Like, is it as good with the fine-tune now as it used to be with, like, the normal gearboxes? Because that's what, yeah, they seem to have just broke everything when they added, or broke the gearboxes when they added that fine-tune. I'm not sure if it was on purpose or not. Part of me kind of feels like it was. Like, the fine-tune isn't that good. And they were just like, well, break everything else, and then it'll seem good by comparison. I think a simple improvement for the winch that they could do is that if you're driving a truck, just make all the small trees and branches, I assume you're going to say, like, yeah, not exist. And yeah, I agree. But like I said, I actually think they do it on purpose. So that if I say I start to tip now and I just suddenly panic and try and fling a winch out to the side, they quite often scatter little trees that'll pop out, because it'll grab that first, and then, yeah, I won't have time to save myself. That's why, when I nearly rolled just before I got to that second watchtower, I already spanned the camera around early and started mashing the triangle button, and I believe I did pluck one or two trees out of the ground before I grabbed the tree that stopped me tipping. I'd already like pre-planned for what the game is going to do. It's going to prioritise the stupid trees that don't do anything. And it's bits like that where, yeah, they're a bit sneaky in this game. Stuff like that. Like, that sort of feels like slightly filthy, underhand tactics to get you to tip. And mean, yeah, you could say in real life, obviously you can't fire a winch out, but in real life, minutes don't pass in seconds, so at some point you just got to accept it's a game. And the idea is sort of to have fun more than be ultra realistic, even if it's supposed to be sim-based. Michael Kurek, hey Mr. Wolf, how's it going, dude? Try this keyboard. I ain't got a keyboard. Funnily enough, the P12 is terrible trying to haul stuff, but actually handles long logs decently. It's good, it's about time it handles something. Hey! Mr. Loaf, what are you doing? What does he need? Oh, we've got to take him somewhere. Damn right, start tracking. Well, is that it? Loaf could make that by himself. Being a lazy loaf. Think, which way do I want to go? I don't remember if it was that way or this way. I think it was this way. Oh no. It was this way. I'll have to leave you there for now, Loaf. We will be back. Some trucks you can kind of just keep reversing and sort of skid its way round, but this one here, can I just cut round that way, because it's honestly... I hope I can, because I honestly can't be arsed turning this thing around. Poor good excellent ratings on tyres is just another nonsense vague thing. Yeah, exactly. It's like, just give us the numbers. I don't know why they have to be so vague about it. Surely it would have been quicker to just put the numbers than them going like, right, so do we call this one good? Or do we call this one average? And then they'll go, why, what are the numbers? And then they'll talk about the numbers and then they'll go, let's call that one average. Call your fucking IQ average. That's how you came to that conclusion. Somewhere over there. If we can get that, I assume we'll light this bottomless pit thing up. Hope your insomnia is getting better. Not really, but I appreciate it, dude. It's yeah, it's one of them. It sort of comes and goes every now and then. Sometimes it's you have a lucky week. Other times, not a damn chance. It's been sort of handy in a way for the last sort of week or so. It's helped me get a few more of these review videos and stuff out. But yeah. Certainly doesn't make you feel most lively. I also think OD or OHD1 are heavier. Yeah, even that with the names like OHD1, why can't they just call them something less complicated than that? Like Mud 1, Mud 2 and Mud 3. Or Off-Road 1, 2 and 3, etc. Sometimes though, heavier tyres are good for like, obviously help your weight stay low. Oh, so there's that bridge. Oh, I know where we are now. See, stuff like this is a very nice, picturesque little setting. And cutting across that ice, it wasn't being a troll or anything. Like sections like this, it's very nice. That's what the game does, like nail it with certain bits. But yeah, they ruin it for themselves with weird arbitrary kind of nerfs to slow things down. Ever read Insomnia by Stephen King? I don't believe so. I've heard of it. I believe there's a film called Insomnia or something. It's like 24 hours long. I might have to watch that at some point. I'll see what they were going for. Kind of only an insomniatic person's going to make it through that film. I say, anytime you want to join in Zix and get up this hill, that'll be nice. So rocks on this game are your enemy when it comes to trying to get up the hill. See what I mean? Prioritise the trees that pluck out first. You're asking from a land where vehicles are 3 letters and phone numbers. Yeah, they do have some. You'd have to kind of work at the company to remember all the names of the vehicles. Certainly do like their phone number way of naming things. I was looking the other day at, like, I believe the Loaf is a UAZ 452 or something, but then there's a lot of like variations obviously on that, so there might be some that have got different names that are basically the Loaf chassis. But I was looking on eBay and all sorts, couldn't find one for sale in the UK. That said, that I found a brand new one, and it priced it in rubles or whatever. It was not bad. It was like, it worked out about 21 grand, but for an absolute brand new. Oh yeah, no, it was a Loaf, but with tank tracks, and it was something like 21 grand. Like, god damn, that's a bargain. If I'd known that when I had the option to buy the M5, I might have got a goddamn horse of a vehicle instead. See? Fixes himself when you get to where you need to go, and he's off. Well, about a mile an hour because there's a bit of super snow. By the way, did Sabre make rocks stickier? I don't know, to be honest. Kind of be inclined to say no, but you never know. There's them bushes that are going to try and fire me out of the ground. Try and avoid them if I can. Look at him, just a goddamn beast. That was a good one. Ah, so is that the hole? Oh yeah. I'd never even noticed that one before. Where are we then? There. So we've got to kind of go that way. Is that the way up to it? Just kind of drive in there? Yeah, it doesn't really look like. I assume we're just going to have to go through the trees. I don't know how I'm going to get like the thing I'm in up there though. The Loaf might be able to get up there through them trees, but not particularly confident about the Zix doing it. Yes, that's it. You can see it under the map. Let's have a quick look. Okay. Oh yeah. It won't really let me zoom in or change it any more than that, but I see what you're saying. Excuse me. I took the dolphin up there. Go more to the left side, it's easier. Do you mean like completely round here, or just like, say, once I'm at the log station, kind of that way? then threw it in. That's how it's done. I'm just going to go for it. If we roll, we roll. Or if we hit a tree, we hit a tree. Through the trees a little like that. Once I get there, I should hopefully be able to see a bit better what I'm up to. Excuse me. It's the fun thing about asthma. I was describing it to someone the other day. It's like perpetually drowning in snot. You have to keep coughing up. Pretty sexy, I know. 24-hour videos on YouTube. Vsauce, casual loop, lamb chop. Song that doesn't end. Rolling is a lot less common in the snow, but you might start flipping endo. Yeah, sometimes some vehicles do dig in and you kind of do an endo, like a front flip. So, it's up to the top of that one. Have to run over someone's car. So, Loaf picked the right line car, we just didn't realise it yet. At least it's not like death mud in this login station. It makes a change for them. Let's see how it goes. Don't even know if this is the right way, but I'm not liking taking this bloody Zix thing up there though. Is it like this bit you've got to go up, or do I need to go further around like this bit first? It's looking pretty brutal for trees, whichever way I go. Again, I might just send the Loaf up, to be honest. It can get up there. Strongest tree branches. I mean, realistically, surely the truck is just going to snap them. Like, there isn't even going to be any debate about it. It's going to kill them. I'll keep going, but if this thing starts getting stuck, like, I'm not going to sit here fucking around here and reversing it. Like, I'm sure there is a way up, but I'm not going to spend the next half an hour trying to learn it on a live stream, so we'll try with a Loaf. If not, I'll have to, I'll go sort of in my own time, and then I'll put in a video. See, when they make it like, yeah, super snow, so you have to just travel over there on the winch, it's just kind of boring. I'm hoping that the super snow will end soon. They tend to. The higher you get up the mountain, it sort of calms down a bit. It may be alright in a minute. I'm not sure if it's worth going further around this way. So you got the goddamn professional out. We certainly have. Ah, it's looking a bit better over there. Gonna roll back a bit, then you do it like. I mean, again, I'm sure there is a way with the zigs or whatever, but there's not a chance in hell I would have made it up that way with the zigs. It's another win for the Loaf though, you can zip through them trees. And like I said, once you get to super snow sections, it's like the Loaf using its winch is as quick as any other truck's going to be anyway, so this bit's obviously going to be a bit slow, but, well, get them on these little lines of snow, it might speed up a little bit. There we go. No, you don't like high. Looks like a Loaf is getting a slightly bigger brother in the Tatra. I've seen like a thumbnail on someone's video on YouTube, and yeah, I thought the same. It looked like a little bit like a Loaf, but a bit bigger. It'll still never replace the Loaf. You can try, but still, yeah. I mean, I was sort of like, I've said it before, really, but imagine if they balanced the trucks in this game relative to the Loaf. Like the Loaf is this good, and it's an 11 grand van. Imagine the Derry 4520 being a 200 grand Loaf. Oh yes. We're going in, boys. One small step for Loaf. One giant step for Loaf kind. Right. I would have liked the top engine really, just so I could really build up them revs and drop the hammer. Clydesdale of a Loaf, he certainly is. Right. Build them revs. You know what needs to be done, Loaf. Put your helmet on. Oh. Can you go in it? Yes. Well, I could probably get out of that. Here his engine start. He actually starts. Goddamn right. Oh, what have we got down here then? Hiding any DLC down here? Got any dolphin engines I need to know about? Well, yes, I mean, it's not surprising really, is it, that he landed on his wheels? Oh, I've got no repairs left on, he's going to run out of juice. Well, I mean, let's be honest. I'm probably going to have to recover at this point. My wrists looked like they were going all spastic then as well. Well, it's pretty good. It was worth jumping in the hole. He's pretty low. The Kubrick pit. See someone smash through the ice and shout, "Here's Johnny," in a minute. Well, yeah, I mean, I can't really do a lot when I'm down here. I'm not going to lie. We beast. God damn. Well, don't take drugs whilst doing this, otherwise you might die. There's no way anything in the game can reach this point. Oh yeah, he's out of juice. I have to send another Loaf in to jump on top of him. Right, we'll leave that for now, but of course he landed. When doesn't he? His goddamn horse of a vehicle. That's pretty cool though. I'll be checking it out later. I might one day have to just fill it with Loafs. Stacked them like 50 high in there or something. So, what are we on? 2.5 hours. We'll go and do like maybe a little mission or something and then we'll call it a day. Well, we don't have to stay on this map. It was a nice little drive around though. This is actually, yeah, definitely a pretty nice map. I can see how any size truck gets stuck there. I must admit, they're probably, the Loaf probably ain't getting out of that one. Could pack the whole with Loafs until you can drive over it. Exactly. That was my thinking as well. I wonder if there will be a way to reach him. The thing is, I probably will. I'll leave him there, because that'll be some kind of, like, puzzle for me to solve at some point. I'm not saying he can get out there. I'm quite happy to say that that is an unget-out-of-a-bull situation. But if it is at all possible, the Loaf is going to be the one that will figure it out, so we'll leave him there for now. So I'm going to blame the fact that the down button on my D-pad doesn't work very well on the amount of needless winches I've had to scroll through on this game. Wow. How many loaves does it take to make a bridge over that gap? Well, I'm not too sure. I mean, depth-wise, it's going to be quite a few. Might be a good 30, 40, 50 loaves, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how wide the actual hole is, because obviously it looked bigger, but then I was driving on, like, thin air for some of it. In fact, do you know what? I'm going to go back to one of the garages, because I'm sure there was a mod that I downloaded, but I can't remember. Let's go to Cosmodrome. Not that one. I'm sure I did drive to the garage then. Oh yeah, it's this side. There's not many features on these new maps. So you know, like, to instantly know which way the map sort of rotated. Will you please test Super Tatra tonight? I'll go and have a look if I've got the mod turned on. I think I have. I'm sure that it will. It will take at least 15 or 20 loaves to fill that hole. Yeah, possibly more. It definitely went down pretty far. I'm just trying to think if there's a way to, like, sort of cheat getting a winch to it. See, again, it'd be cool if you could have, like, double winch points, because I could have a loaf that lowers another loaf into the hole, and then that could reach, and, like, it'd be nice if A, you could do 2 winch points, and B, instead of just retract your winch point, it'd be nice if you could, like, you know, reel some cable out as well, like you can with the cranes, basically. Not that. Right, so that's all max pack stuff. Oh, that must be the new, what do you call it? Electric pack. He's got quite a lot added in there now. Are they still sort of nerfed them though? I won't properly build one, but I'll just buy that. They used to have like a 600 kilowatt engine. Oh no, it's an electric Tatra. And then it appears they got rid of it and made it like a 500 kilowatt one was the top one you could have, which wasn't as good. Buy one of them. Yeah, there it is. Are you on about this one, I assume? Is this the Super Tatra? Or did you mean like the max pack one? It's still the old slow tyre menu. Unlike the other maps that have forests and mud and lots of features. Some maps I can just instantly, like, tell which way I'm rotated, whereas I've noticed with these maps I kinda get a bit lost with it all. Leave Loaf in the hole tomorrow, Saber patches the hole. Somehow that Loaf will still be fine. He'll go and patch Saber if they try and do that. I mean, this right here is why the down button on my D-pad is slowly but surely dying because of the hundreds of thousands of times I've pressed it waiting for the tyre menu to do something. To be honest, yeah, I was going to say I'm just going to put like the next decent looking set on because I can't be asked to keep doing it. Oh, 40. Well, I'd like the biggest inch though, that's what she said. Be rude not to. There's an electric dolphin. Yeah, I assumed since they've like merged the packs together, it's pretty good. Yeah, it appears like there's not just 10 trucks anymore. They seem to have added quite a lot. I don't need any of that. That's pretty cool. It can have a snorkel. Oh yeah, all this roof rack stuff. Yeah, you could have one inside as well, couldn't you? $100, $150. I'd rather have that one then, thank you. This one, so this thing handles some off-roading then. Just very quickly. In fact, yeah, I was going to say, have I got one on there somewhere? Oh no, I'm leaving him there to do that rescue. See, look, that's as fast as the menu scrolls. You get to Loaf's, I can accelerate exponentially. Loaf has not got time for laggy menus. That one, the older mod, yeah, the JBE Tatra. It's an old one but a good one. Oh, gotta have his mushroom snorkel. Just quickly pick some kind of colour. Okay, I'll have a red one this time. Good brakes. I'd like to go, you know where that like death ice bit is and there's kind of a really steep icy hill? Do I risk driving over here? Well yeah, let's see. Just handling it pretty good. This is certainly the sort of mod you wouldn't if you just sick and tired of terrain. Buffering takes a bloody while. He's doing something. I'm surprised though that, considering it's like PS4 and 2021 and all the rest of it, that they can't even have a menu scroll without kind of lagging up and freezing. Kind of expect that on like, yeah, PlayStation or something, but this is the mod you use when you're just tired of the game entirely. Exactly. This is how you turn like a terrain physics game back into more like Grand Theft Auto, where pretty much everything is just drivable. But I would still argue that this is probably closer to real life than the actual Tatra. Like if you had enough power in one of these and put these tyres on it and all the rest of it, this is pretty much what it'd be doing right now. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not like we're going 200 miles an hour, we're only going like 20, 30 mile an hour, if that. And it sounds a lot meatier with the engine. Star Wars fan 24/7. Hello there, how's it going, dude? Thomas, yeehaw. It certainly was. Especially when we've got a horse with us. Yeah, this is good ice. This is how more like ice should be. Again, with this kind of vehicle.
Look at Loaf, loving it. He's going past you like licking them ice, them icicles. You dare tip. Not Loaf. He'll be back on his wheels when he's good and ready. Let's see. He knows what he's doing. Island and drunk. If island's involved, there's usually some kind of drinking going on. Saying that, I wonder how this thing can get through the sort of ice. Pretty bloody good. Let's see if it can get up here. See, just the sound of this engine is enjoyable. It makes me feel like good things are happening. I really dislike the fluid swashing sound in this game. Yeah, true. Mostly it doesn't bother me, but every now and then you get a truck or whatever, yeah, it just keeps doing it, and it has drove me mad a few times. It's the only kind of drawback of the Tatra. It doesn't always have steering. It's kind of doing a wheelie half the time. Pretty good view of the map. Oh yes. I like it. Still not been able to explode a squirrel yet, but I'm working on it. Currently going through Season 4 in SnowRunner while watching. Enjoy, dude. It's, yeah, well, I mean, there's certainly... I don't think it's the worst phase they've added. I quite liked Phase 3, it was pretty cool. Yeah, the Yukon, Phase 2 just felt a little bit... It was a nice map, nice look, all the rest of it, but they just went a bit over the top. With the slowness. And again, Lake Cod, I did like that, it wasn't too bad. Imandra... Yeah, just a bit boring. Like I said, I didn't really hate it. I just... Somebody said, what map would you want to play on now? It's like, Imandra's going to be very, very low on the list. Then just flipped and lost me load. That's where you need to do that, like, turn the game off and on cheat. It'll load up like 30 seconds earlier. Well, most of the time, if you're lucky. But it's saved me a hell of a lot of time, I can say that much. The Loaf has probably saved me the most time by far, but turning the game off and on cheat is probably comes in at second place, I reckon. Scared the shit out of those birds. They had it coming. I didn't realise it. Had the good horn. The therapeutic horn. Oh, I suppose I've got to go on and cover the Zix on this game again. Go and have a quick look over there then. I mean, yeah, clearly this thing's monstering through the terrain, which is pretty good. Phase 2 was difficult. Yeah, definitely it had some moments, I'll give it that. Blob engine sounds in P16 horn. I think though, because this is a bit more snappy with the revs, you get more of the top end of the Club engine noise, if that makes sense. Like, it's good, it's nice. The Clubs do, like, they are one of the few trucks that actually sound pretty decent in this game. Hard to easy, pretty much. This thing does help. I would like to see if there's actually any way of crossing the ice going this way. Subscribed since 1k, I appreciate it, dude.
slowly climbing. We're up on nearly 7.3k now, which is pretty insane. Because like I said, about this time last year, I was only on a few hundred. First stream. It's good to have you joining us. I quite like the streams, I have to say. Well, yeah, it's just nice to be able to chat to you lot, kind of answer questions and generally mess around. It's pretty good. Oh, get off me, tree. And sending the loaf on you. Turn them into little twiglets. I like the engine sounds on the international paychecks. I can't say I remember them. This definitely looks like one of those keep it pinned and fingers crossed situations. That horse, yeah. Heroic little leap he made at the end. Oh yeah, shit, I've got to repair it. So what's it need? Fuel... Let's see that. Trip repair supplies. What was that on this? Oh, well, this is the way I'm going now. I'm just having a look, like... That might be a spaceship, isn't it? Like a UFO. Like, everything else looks like human-made rocket parts, but that just is a UFO. It's even got, like, the crazy metallic shine to it. Using it in it's actually done pretty well. So anytime you'd like to join in and turn a corner, Tatra, that would be nice. Well, we've got that unlocked now. There's another one in the bag. Looks like a 50s movie prop. True, could be something like that. Never really thought of that, but that's a good point. I just thought at first, like, it looks obviously a bit like a UFO, but I thought it must just be like a part of a rocket. But, you know, like even the little, what's it called, capsule thing that they send back to Earth. But when I went and had a closer look, I mean, it just, yeah, it looks like a stereotypical UFO. Well, I could go and get that watchtower quickly, but I would like to kind of do a mission before I end. But it would make sense to quickly go and grab that. Go Loaf. The rocket crashed into a UFO, exactly. It's funny though, isn't it, how like, with how crazy the world's been recently, like, I think when Trump was president, they released like things saying that UFOs are real. And yeah, there's just been so much madness going on in the world that it's pretty crazy to think like a government, for the first time in history, has acknowledged that there appears to be UFOs that don't seem to have a human origin. And everyone was just like, oh, cool. Like 10 years ago, they thought the entire planet's population would lose their mind if they announced that kind of thing. But I think by now everyone's like, oh, great. The sooner they turn up and anal probe me, the better. Anything to change the state of the world at the minute. I think, yeah, even like now with Biden as well, they've been releasing more stuff like UFO related stuff. I have a real life version of the Loaf, and my project currently rebuilding the engine. There's a very good project to be choosing. You get a goddamn horse at the end of it. Yeah, I'd like a loaf myself. I'm technically in the market for one, but I'm skint, so if anyone's willing to swap like a slice of bread for an actual loaf, then let me know. I'm interested. I have slices of bread available. But yeah, that one I seen that was like 21 grand brand new for a tank loaf. I mean, you gotta admit, Russia is a goddamn bargain. Some of the stuff they make is like pennies. Right. I would like to do a mission, but I don't know what. Oh, we could undo this. Is that? Oh no, not the log trailer. You can sod off. Somewhere around here was a knee-deep thing. Did I not get that watchtower? Oh no, because I rolled that, didn't I? Well, I still know it's over there, so if I go to here, cut along the lake, grab that, and then I think it's needed done like somewhere that way. We'll get that done, and then we'll call it a day. Do you ever play in first person? Rare, to be honest. That's the horn. That's the reason, like, is sometimes it's you don't realise you're going to tip until you tip in, at least in third person. You can kind of see what they're going to try and sneak up on you. Normally I wouldn't recommend cutting across here, but I was just curious to see if this thing can handle it, which it can. See, so they've obviously coded these tyres to just be good. I'm not saying that they need to make the in-game tyres as good as these obviously are, but they do need to up the grip of the tyres in general. I don't think they accurately represent tyres in real life. Trent and Airs, hands on fire. Hey, SnowRunner, I'm late, but I'm here. How do you get the new maps? Well, obviously own like the season pass, but if you're on PlayStation, I assume it might work similar on Xbox. I don't know. You've got to go into like the PS store and download them. Even though you own them, you won't have to pay for them or anything. You may even have to enter your card details again, but again, it's not going to charge you. I assume it's like, you hear stories of kids where like their parents have bought something, say on the PlayStation store, and then because the card details have been entered and everything, kids have then bought like 1,000 quid's worth of, I don't know, stuff for Fortnite and that, if you know what I mean. So I think now they just kind of made it where each time you get something else off the PS store, you have to like specifically click it and re-download it, and sometimes, yeah, re-enter your card details. Which I did hear, it wasn't Fortnite, there was some game that some guy bought like 5 quid's worth of gold for his kid, and then the kid went and bought like 23 grand's worth of gold afterwards or something. Fortunately for him, I think Apple and the company like reimbursed him, because they obviously realised that, yeah, his like 6-year-old kid didn't really comprehend that he was spending 23 grand of real money. On Xbox, it's a free download. Yeah, I mean, I assume there's like, I've not been on Xbox, but there should be like some kind of Xbox store equivalent that you can go into there and just click on it to download it, and then you should be good to go. Haven't had time to work on my loaf. It'll be there when you're ready. Patiently waiting for the day. It'll be a good day though when you can fire up your loaf. So this was all like death snow. Oh shit, in fact, am I even in the right place? Oh no, it's that way I was supposed to go. Where am I? Yeah, probably better off turning around, to be honest. I was supposed to go that way. takes its way round. It's not having it. Probably a tree up the arse wasn't really helping the situation, but gotta try these things. Yes. See, he's a goddamn professional. Don't have to mess around. He'll line himself up when he's good and ready. Engine mate, it's a UAZ. I have no idea with Russian engines. They're probably pretty basic and interchangeable. I think ideally, if I could get a Loaf, I'd like to put... I was thinking about, I mean, technically I'd like a V8 Loaf, but it'd have to be a small V8 because it just wouldn't really do too well, I think, if it was a... Oh no, I've got to take the trailer and the truck. How this is going to be the worst vehicle for it. Deliver to motor pool 6. Why is there a trailer there though? I don't trust doing this mission. It's going to bite me in some way. It's saying just a 6, but I've got a feeling it ain't. See if we can get up this waterfall. Factory, 3,000 foot-pound of torque and 85 horsepower. Sounds pretty good. Torque sounds pretty good anyway. I think my M5 only had like 384 foot-pound of torque or something. And that was pretty torquey. Audi 4 litre V8 or a small block 4.7 Ford, yeah. I mean, a V8 would definitely be nice. There's no two ways about it. I suppose there's either that option or you could go like the turbo route. But I'd rather like a naturally aspirated V8 than a turbo. Nothing against turbos, but yeah. Well, it got up there. I would argue that most things, I mean the Loaf would probably get up there, but not a lot else. We've had some new cargo trailers. Yeah, same here again. Like someone said the other day, I moan about the ramped flatbed, but I use it all the time. It's like, I wish there was more choice, and I would happily never ever use the goddamn thing again, but yeah, we're kind of stuck with what we're given. Right, well, I still would like to do a mission before. I suppose I may as well get this watchtower quickly. Well, yeah, I've not drove this JB Tatra for a good while, really, but I have to say, it's eating these maps for breakfast. The block itself, but the connecting rods are normally the weak point. I don't know a hell of a lot about engines. I know what you're on about and stuff, but not like the specific engine. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't need it to be like some Formula 1 Loaf, as much as that idea does intrigue me, but just, yeah, a bit of a punchier engine than, like, I assume what it's got. Well, if that's what that guy was saying, Thomas was like 300 torque and 85 horsepower. It's not bad. Is that? Oh no, it's just trees. I was wondering if they were trying to write another message there. What mission have we got? I would like to do one before we... rock slide. Metal beams. I know it's doubtful. Yeah, that 6 ain't got a thing on it, has it? What about this tree blockade? Oh, did I? I'm sure I chose that mission as I drove over it. I'm pretty sure it is service spare parts that needs. Let's go and do that and then we'll call it a day. What vehicle shall we choose? My cat is now stood in front of the TV. Right, witness me. He's on Mad Max. Service spare parts. Yes. So I need to check because I can't remember myself. Pretty sure you can pack a loaf on top of the roof rack on this vehicle, but it does feel like something out of fact. Instead of speed running, just recover this beast. Oh, not repair. So, oh yeah, Northern Aegis. I need to go and get the top Loaf engine at some point. 15 years in a field and it's still in shape to save. That is pretty impressive. Higher than I thought. Come on, man. Not sure if it'll let me pack it. Let's say one day. I'll choose the truck I want. My god, I think it did. Plan. Throw them in the sideboard. And I'll get a trailer. Which should become a free-range trailer after that. So sometimes you can just flick it around with a bloody crane. Just rotate one way or the other, god damn it. Suspension mode. Did I have that down the whole time? It's kind of like something I would do, but that little trailer. Probably should have chose that trail. We're off. It's a pretty simple mission, but there's probably no point now getting stuck into a giant mission. Let's go for the speed on this one. Beast. So between, like, well, next week I might do a live stream on like my normal playthrough, etc. But at some point I'll probably try and get a few things sorted on this map, on like this playthrough, and then do some like modded contract missions and stuff. As much as I can, fair upgrade a few things into a better. Leave what we can. Oh, that's a nice winch, that one. We want it. You do it.
over that rock. My Loaf back. Did I put an autonomous or a... No. Quick night, Mr. Wolf. Great stream. I appreciate it, dude. Thanks for joining, everyone. Like I say, it's near enough the end of the stream now, but we'll go and get this mission done quickly. Loaf's having a good old time. Relax, Loaf. Nearly done. I remember this bit trying to catch me out the other day. Jumps heats are faster than become useless. Yeah, I like little disc brakes on me, Loaf. If I had one, I reckon. Premature bail. You see though, he stopped my iceberg from tipping. That's what he does at the last second. He dives out. It actually does help because then the second he like auto releases from being packed, it obviously lightens the weight and kind of helps your weight flick back the other way. Probably going to take a bit of a beating at the minute, but he can take it. He is a goddamn professional after all. Wayne Brown, see you next stream, Mr. Lone Wolf. I appreciate it, guys. Oh yeah, well, what do I need? Service something. What? Does that not just have an arrow there? I know I'm not really paying attention, but still, the game should have factored that in for me. Trailer. Enjoy. Live a long and fruitful life. That's why I use the flatbed instead of the sideboard, because dumping the cargo saves you more often than not. Then I just grab it. Yeah, true, maybe. I've not really tried it myself. I think for me personally, I'd rather like have the cargo. I'd rather have the cargo stay in the trailer and bring a vehicle and just tip myself back to my wheels than then have to crane it all back in. But yeah, obviously each to their own. Like, I'm not knocking your logic there. It sort of makes sense. For the most part, though, remember when cargo unpacks it, not completely, but it loses a lot of its weight anyway just by unpacking. See you soon. Hopefully you got a lot of stuff to do. I appreciate it, dude. Appreciate you joining us. That's actually working pretty nice that the Loaf was like holding me back there because I was able to slide over to the right. It's a bit of a narrower gap. See? He's like 3 steps ahead of me. Tumble Loaf. May have taken a bit of a beating, but it was all good. Starts first time every time. Other than wood weighs more unpacked than packed. Oh, does it? I've never really noticed, but I'll have to check it out. I've got to do it to the square back there. Before I do, I know it's a risk, but I want to see if I can drive over this stuff. Disconnect the load for a sec. I need this winch point. sideboard getting hooked at the minute. Trying that winch point. Lucky dip, where is it this time? You can do, like, if you press down on the D-pad and then sideways, you can kind of, like, yeah, sort of not necessarily have to scroll through everything. We got over that bit. I'm not gonna lie, this was not the wisest move to do, but I needed to know these things. It's for science. Ah, there it is. Not too far away this time. And that axle doesn't look the healthiest. Might even go as far as to say I am stuck. Select that winch point. There we go. Wait there, Loaf. I'll be back in a minute. There's a square. There's bound to be one on each side. Yes. Give me the bloody menu, will you? God damn it. Cliffside Treefall done. At least that thing's cleared out of the way now. Cranes in this game are intentionally made weak. If the cargo had proper weight all the time, the cranes couldn't lift it. Yeah, the cranes are terrible in this game. They used to be better, and they still weren't that great back then, but these days they're bordering on unusable, except for cargo. But yeah, they added like roof winch points to scouts, and then the crane can barely lift half the scout, so it's another thing where it's like not really sure what they're thinking or why they think it's going to punish us. Like a crane just working as a crane and comfortably lifting the loaf or a piece of cargo isn't going to suddenly break the game and we can all complete it in half an hour. So yeah, it's just one of those stupid non-balancing things that they seem to have got in their head. And I've no idea why that is. There's a mod for stronger cranes that works perfectly. I tried that stronger cranes mod. It may have been updated since then, but it barely made a difference. There was a tiny bit, but it was barely worth it, if you know what I mean. It was like, it still had the point where the crane was just collapsing. The best crane, if you want, is Puppy Master's, what the bloody hell was it called? The Heavy Wrecker. That thing's got a crane on it that's obviously he's built himself and coded it himself, and it's a beast. It can lift collobs up in the air, it'd lift this Azov iceberg, it'd lift that Zix 605R. The only thing ever that I've found that I couldn't lift was that train on Greenwood's River, is it, or something, on the Wisconsin maps, like the train that you can derail. But that's an extenuating circumstance, I'm not bothered about that. Everything else, it just lifts and it works as a crane, which, again, it doesn't break the game, it's just, it does what it's supposed to do, that's all. Waiting for a Loaf JB. I must admit, a Loaf, well, I mean, that's the thing though. How do you improve on perfection? I think that's what a lot of these modders are struggling with. Still got a good, oh, I mean, he's fine. Still fire him up. Oh no, he's run out of fuel. I thought it just said the fuel tank was, not broken. Oh, that's why. It's on the iceberg. Engine first. Bit of that. And he's back. Yeah, well, we'll probably call it a day there. I'll just leave all these things. Oh yeah, refuel him. He's thirsty. See, one working Loaf. Look at that horse of a vehicle. Always gets the job done. Exactly.
What up, y'all? Spike, how's it going, dude? Well, you've just joined us when we're about to stop. I'll recover this. Well, I'd like to leave the loaf there. Just generally speaking, it's good to have loafs scattered around. I may as well leave that there as well, sod it. We'll go back to the garage and then we'll yeah, end the stream. But again, though, thanks to everyone for joining us. It's been a good old night of messing around. Like, there wasn't really a whole lot of seriousness going on tonight. I was just curious myself. I've been so busy with all the exploration videos and the reviews and everything that I went and flew around some of the maps with that Fox's New Derry, but yeah, I just haven't really had much of a chance to see how well the mods actually handle these new maps, so it was kind of figuring it out for myself as well. It's feeling pretty good. I mean, they motored around it pretty well. Certainly a hell of a lot quicker than the base trucks. I can't remember if I scouted all of it, but I think I scouted at least some of Northern Aegis with like the Derry the other day. Well, that's near enough all the maps scouted now, so yeah, a hell of a lot easier than the normal trucks. And it's quite nice having a playthrough for each, but it's yeah, I don't know. Like, I'll be certainly doing many more videos down the line. I didn't get around to playing with those Kenny trucks this time, but I'll probably make a video on that then, maybe within the next, like, before next week's stream. I just found another Kenny. I believe there's two Kennys, isn't there? There was one that was like a 6-wheeled one that I think I've already got, and I've seen a 10-wheel Kenny as well tonight. So I was downloaded it, but again, I couldn't turn it on this playthrough because it just said not enough memory. But yeah, anyway, I'll call it there. I appreciate everyone joining us for the stream, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon. CR, thanks for the stream. Always a pleasure. I appreciate it, dude. What mods do you use? Lots. All the ones that I can fit before it tells me the memory's up. Anyway, I'll see you later, guys. Kenny 6x6 uses huge memory. Yeah, that's why I'm going to have to do it on a separate playthrough.